as we come into the final hours of this process that we've been in for more than a year now. And I know how seriously New Hampshire voters take the responsibility, take the influence, take the thumb on the scale that you have by virtue of being here in this first-in-the-nation primary. And so I know that in addition to supporters who are here, who I want to thank for helping to spread the word, there are folks here who are still thinking through your choices. The same people who maybe came out of curiosity to see me and about 20 other people a year ago, and by 6 months ago, we're starting to winnow the field. In your very New Hampshire way, you'd say things to me like, you know, that speech was pretty good. I think you're in my top 7 now. That was good. And now it's decision time. And it's coming down to this. How do we make sure that we are ready to win and that we are ready to govern with the stakes as high as they have ever been in an American presidential election? This is a moment for bringing as many people as we can into the picture, but a picture where your only choices are between a revolution or the status quo is a picture where most of us don't see ourselves. Right now, we have to harness that American majority ready to come together and deliver big and meaningful change, but expecting that that change can also be accounted for. This is our shot, our only shot to defeat Donald Trump. I know that last week was depressing for a lot of us watching the news, watching the way the Senate GOP turned a trial into a sham and a foregone conclusion. And I know that that creates a sense of exhaustion that may tempt some of us to turn it off and walk away altogether, which is, of course, exactly how the cynics would win, exactly what we cannot allow to happen. But the good news is, the great thing about being a voter in the year 2020 is that we get the final say. The Senate may have been the jury last week, but we're the jury now, and the final verdict is up to us when it comes to this president and an awful lot of those senators. So let's make sure we use that power to bring about the change we need to see. This is our chance. So here's the trick. When he lies, you have to confront it. When he does something wrong, you have to stand up to it. And yet, a big part of this is to make sure he can't suck all of the attention in his direction. So, will I call him out? Absolutely. And I think I'm the right person to do it. You know, somebody who talks about the forgotten men and women of the country, but views my part of the country mostly as a place that he can look down on out of his window in between going to golf courses with his name on it, ought to have to stand next to somebody who's not a millionaire, actually lives in a middle-class neighborhood in an industrial Midwestern city that is the exact kind of community that he has claimed to speak for but sold out when it comes to his actual policy. Somebody who likes to cloak himself in religion. This president, ought to have to debate someone who is not afraid to remind fellow believers that God does not belong to a political party. And yes, somebody who avoided serving when it was his turn ought to be called to account on a debate stage by somebody who can talk about the meaning of service and illustrate why somebody who punishes war heroes and pardons war criminals is no patriot. I will do that.